Okay, have you ever been in one of those meetings? People keep saying the analyst, but you get the feeling everyone's talking about a completely different person? Yeah, it happens all the time. In this explainer, we are going to finally put that confusion to rest. We're getting crystal clear on the difference between a business analyst and a system analyst.
So this is the big question, isn't it? One person says analyst, and you can almost see the split in the room. Half the people are picturing a business strategist, while the other half is thinking about a tech designer. It's a super easy mix-up to make, but trust me, understanding the difference is crucial.
So the short answer is nope, not the same thing at all. The best way to think about it is like this. They are two totally distinct, but equally important roles on any project. One is obsessed with a business idea, and the other is focused on the technical solution. Let's break down what that really means. First up, let's talk about the business analyst, or BA. I absolutely love this title for them, the visionary, because that's what they are. Their whole job is to understand the big picture, but strictly from the business's point of view. This right here, the voice of the business. That's the perfect description. A BA lives and breathes the company's goals. They're the ones digging deep into business problems, finding those golden opportunities, and making sure that whatever the team builds is actually going to deliver real, measurable value. And to do that, a BA is constantly asking these kinds of questions. They don't just jump straight to building something. They start at the very beginning with the core problem. They're the person in the room saying, wait, hold on, why are we even doing this? And what does a win actually look like for the business? This makes sure the entire team is pointed in the right direction before anyone writes a single line of code. All right, let's switch gears and meet our second key player. This is where it all starts to connect. Meet this system analyst, or SA. So if the BA is our visionary, then the SA is the architect. They're the ones who take the vision and draw up the actual technical blueprint. And this highlights the SA's most important role. They're a translator. A system analyst takes all those business needs that the BA figured out and translates them into a language that technology can understand. They are that essential bridge connecting the business dream to the development team that has to build it. And just look at how different these questions are, right? The essay isn't asking why. They're all about the how. They take these big questions. How is this system actually going to work? How will all the different pieces talk to each other? And they turn them into technical specs. Their world is all about data flows, integrations, and system design. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's make this real. We're going to use a simple, everyday project, building a brand new online loan application for a bank. And this just perfectly illustrates the difference. Over on the left, you've got the business analyst. They're out there talking to bank staff, figuring out what customers hate about the old process, and defining what success looks like, something like a 20% increase in completed applications. Then, on the right, the system analyst takes that vision and designs the technical workflow. How will the screens connect? How do we integrate with the credit check service? What are the exact technical requirements for the developers? See? Two very different jobs, but they have to work together. Now, sure, in a tiny startup, one person might wear both hats, but knowing these are two separate functions is the key.
Okay, if you remember nothing else from this entire explainer, please remember this next part. We are about to boil this whole thing down to its simplest, most essential core. This is the blueprint.
The business analyst. They own the why and the what. Why are we building this? To make customers happier and grow the business. And what does it need to do? It needs to let users apply for a loan in under 5 minutes. It's all about the business reason and the function. And the system analyst, they own the how. How are we going to build it? With this specific database, a user interface that follows these wireframes, and a secure connection to the credit bureau's API. They own the technical plan. It really is that simple. BA is why and what. SA is how. You see, it's never about which role is more important. It just doesn't work that way. They are two halves of the same whole. A brilliant business idea with no technical plan is just a daydream, and a technically perfect system that doesn't solve a real business problem, well, that's just a waste of time and money. Real success only happens when they work hand in hand. And that leaves us with one last question for you. The next time your team gets excited about a big new idea, ask yourselves this. Who do you need in the room first? The visionary to define the why, or the architect to figure out the how? The answer to that question will tell you a whole lot about where you really are in your project.